It's like 1 o'clock in the afternoon here in the Pacific Northwest, and it's like dark. I have three big windows in my room here, and I have to have almost all my lights on so I can be seen. If only I was a more proficient editor. I think at one point in the future I'm going to start at least looking into making my videos a little more interesting to look at rather than looking at my stupid face throughout the entirety of these videos that I make. I'm going to try to, maybe that'll make that a goal. My next goal for the year is to make my videos look more flashy. Or I shouldn't say flashy, just more interesting. Because, yeah, this is 1 o'clock in the afternoon and it's dark. Yeah, I don't know. I know this isn't exciting to look at. Sorry, guys. This is what you got. You subscribed to me knowing that this is what you're getting. So at least it wasn't a surprise. By the way, I have over 1,100 subscribers now. Kind of cool. They just keep coming in. I don't understand it. You tell me. How is this happening? It's pretty cool. For for someone who puts absolutely zero effort into editing their videos, it's a miracle, I think. I don't know. You guys tell me. I'm surprised, but they keep coming in. I am gaining more than I'm losing. So I'm going to take that as a win. And it's been a good year. We are at the end of our year now. It's December 27th, and it's been a pretty good year. I hit the goals. I had two goals. Well, I really had one goal. I wanted to be able to get to 1,000 subscribers, and I did. So there you go. I posted over 100 videos this year, which to some people is nothing, but to me, that's a hell of a lot. I highly doubt I will do that next year. I'm going to go back to I think my normal rhythm of, maybe one a week. And that's a lot. If I did one a week, that'd be 52. That seems like a lot to me. Maybe there'll be more, maybe there'll be less. I don't know. I do have moments, I'm just going to be honest with y'all, like I have moments where I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this channel? Full disclosure too, especially during the live streams, sometimes it's like I get people making these comments where I feel like, is this the audience I'm attracting? If this is the audience I'm attracting, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, it's just disturbing. I'm just being honest. Like sometimes I get people, they're regular commenters, and it's like, damn, is this the? I don't know. Maybe I should leave it at that. But I think you guys understand what I'm saying. Those of you who comment regularly, I love your comments. So the 99% of you, I love your comments. But every once in a while, it's like this person again. Good God, get the fuck off my channel. Like during my live stream last month, someone that I had openly blocked, he created a new name and tried to get into my live stream, and he was announcing it, and he's being very open about me blocking him. It was like, well, do you not have anything else to do with your life? You've got to break into my live stream? Like you've got nothing else to do? Really? My God, dude. I'm a random Yahoo in the state of Washington, and it's this important that you're taking part in my live stream? Get a life, man. Come on. So the vast majority of you, that comment's not for you. But sometimes I have those moments where it's like, man, if this is the type of troglodyte that I'm attracting to my channel, I shouldn't be doing this. But those moments are fleeting. It's not the norm. But I definitely have those moments where I'm like, damn, I need to do something else with my time. But I love talking about music. I love talking about film, and that's what I'm going to do. I love gaming too. Is anybody out there? Does anybody out there game? I spend a good portion of whatever free time I have available to me playing video games too, and I'm not ashamed of it. I think video games are brilliant. I think they're in the best state they've ever been. Sometimes I think about doing videos on that, but then I feel like I don't know if anyone cares about that. So, at any rate, I wanted to announce, and I've already announced it. I think I announced it on my Julian Cope video the other day, but I have a live stream coming on Saturday. And as I kind of alluded to before, I've become unexcited about doing live streams. I'm not thrilled about doing them. As I've mentioned before, I am an elementary school teacher, and sometimes I feel like I'm at school when I do these live streams, like I'm babysitting people. People are like infighting, and people that I blocked are creating new names to get into the live stream, and no one stays on topic. I have to like kind of, it's like herding cats sometimes. Like, let's get back to the topic here, guys. Then when I remind people to stay on topic, they get surly and grumpy about it. I get to be surly on my channel, okay? There's a very limited amount of things in my life that I can have control of, and this is one of them. I get to be surly. That's how it is. You don't have to understand it. When you start getting surly, you get blocked. So that is what we have here. And I will never get surly with people during a live stream unless you give me reason to be. So these are the things I ask for. If you do show up, which you probably won't, based on my past numbers, I'm guessing that you will not show up. But if you do, stay on topic. And if I politely ask you to stay on topic, don't be a dick about it. If you are, you're blocked. I know you guys are good people at heart, but you get surly with me and you're out. It is what it is. This is my channel. You don't have to understand it. It just is what it is. So stay on topic and be nice to others, okay? Especially when you turn your aggro to somebody else, not me, but somebody else, you are definitely out from life. You're never coming back. But again, no one's been showing up to my live streams. I mean, I have over 1,000 subscribers now, and only like a dozen people show up. So that's cool. I mean, if people want to watch my channel and they don't want to participate and say anything, that's fine. I don't have any problem with that at all. That's totally cool. But yeah, I just ask that you stay on topic, because live streams have become kind of a slog for me. I'm not enjoying them, because I don't want to feel like I have to round people up and chase people around or remind people to act like responsible, kind adults. I'm definitely not doing that. So rather than just remind people and how to be respectful to others, I'm just blocking you. I'm not even going to give any warnings. You will be blocked, and that will remain going forward. So if any of you want to be dicks during a live stream, you're out for good. I'm just not putting up with it. So again, this is how I am at school. But you would think that grown, responsible adults would not have to be reminded to be this way, but they do. Okay, this Saturday, live stream, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you're on the East Coast, that's 4 o'clock for you. If you're Central Time, it's going to be 3 o'clock for you. If you're in Europe, if you're in the UK, that's going to be 9 p.m. for you. Sorry, but that's what it is. You guys are a good 7, 8, 9 hours ahead of me. But it's Saturday night, the night before New Year's. What the hell are you doing other than having a life? But yeah, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I don't expect anyone to arrive. And that's good. That just gives me more time to play video games. So good. I'm talking about my favorite compilations and reissues in this video. I was going to separate the two, but I was like, yeah, I'm just going to I only have like 3 comps that I'm going to talk about. The rest are reissues. I don't buy a lot of reissues and comps generally, but I did this year. I have a good collection, so I thought I'd pull out like 9 or 10 of these and then do my best releases of the year, my best albums of the year, which I will do in the next couple of days. I'm going to split that video up into 2 because there are a lot of good records that came out this year. So I wanted to split those up. This is my first compilation. I'm going to talk about my favorite comps of the year so far. This is 25 years of aficionado records. I don't know. Part of the thing I really like about comps is when it's like new stuff, when it's exclusive tracks being released. I tend to avoid compilations that just put out previously released material, because a lot of times I already have that stuff somewhere, or I can just go download it. It's on Apple Music or whatever. I have no idea if any of this is unreleased or not. I don't know. I really don't know the aficionado label that well, but when I was listening to the clips of this, I got this at Juno. When I was listening to the clips of this, I'm like, man, this is good. So I picked it up, and I'm really glad I did. There's 2 records of really fantastic music on here. kind of in the Balearic vein, house vein. Not so much techno, just house, a little ambience, a little folk, a little Balearic. That kind of that retro vibe, but updated with new technology. I really like that sound, and this is good stuff. I assume this is previously released because it's called 25 Years of Aficionado, so maybe it's previously released stuff. I don't know if it is or not, but I like it. I was happy to pick this up. It's on a nice gatefold sleeve, as you can see. You get 2 records stuffed in here. And yeah, if you like that Balearic sound, I would highly recommend you pick this up. Really enjoy this, and I'm happy I grabbed it. Speaking of Balearic, here's another one. This might be my favorite of the year. The one that follows this that I'll talk about in a minute is right there with it. But this is called Once Again, We Are the Children of the Sun. This is 3 records worth of the same kind of sound, that Balearic sound. Jazzy, folky, housey, ambient, all that shit mixed into one. Really nice stuff. Really like this cover. This is another gatefold sleeve. You get 3 records here. This is a triple. Here's one of the labels. They all look like that, so I'm not going to show them all. You get a nice gatefold sleeve here again. And the artists you find on here, you get, let's see. Most of these I've never heard of. Daryl John, William Eaton Ensemble, Wendy Grace, Forrest, Coral, Varela, Godspeed, The Freeze Band, Orion, Bugatti and Musker. I don't know. I've never heard of any of these guys, and I love that. I would much rather get a compilation filled with stuff that I don't know of. Is this previously released? I don't know. Is it exclusive to this? No clue. But any way you cut it, I love this release. It's 3 records of really awesome electronic Balearic sounds, which I love. I listened to this a lot during the fall. I picked it up in the fall months. I don't know when it came out exactly, but this would be a good summer, early fall record. It's got that sound, like that music you want to listen to as you're laying down in a meadow and you're listening to the wind rustle through the trees and the leaves. This is the kind of music you listen to when you're doing that. Excellent stuff. It's what I listen to, at least. This this is my third and final compilation I'm going to talk about in this video. This is on the label Music from Memory. It's a Dutch label. And anything they put, this is called 10, by the way. Anything they put out is money for me. They put out a lot of reissues, like they take old ambient stuff from the 90s and reissue it. Stuff that hasn't really seen reissues. But they also put out these compilations of exclusive tracks. I picked this up for one simple reason. This man right here, Kuniyuki Takahashi, has an exclusive track on here. And as far as I know, these are all exclusives. Gigi Mason's on here. Sousa Saiz is on here. The rest of these artists, I haven't heard of most of these people. I picked it up because of Kuniyuki. I've made it clear that I love him. But the rest of this stuff was new to me, and I love it. This is a great, fantastic compilation. This is another gatefold. And Music from Memory presses their records really well. They're very well pressed. I've never been disappointed with their pressings. That's one of the labels. It's a 2 record set, obviously. And yeah, they're based out of Holland. I would recommend picking up anything you see on Music from Memory. This just came out too. I just picked this up last week, so this is pretty new. It's fresh in my mind. Maybe that's why it's my favorite comp of the year. But love this. Those are my 3 comps I'm going to talk about in this video. Now, I'm going to get to my reissues. Some of these I've already talked about, and so I will briefly discuss them here because I don't want to rehash stuff too much. I don't like the rehashings, but because this is reissue video, I figured, well, I'll talk about these briefly. I did a video on this. This is Black Dog Bites. And I've already talked about this in a video when this came out back in, I don't know, August, September, something like that. Go watch that video if you will, if you like this. But this is one of my top reissues of the year. This is an album that should never be forgotten. It's been 30 years since this came out. This is one of my favorite albums of all time, and I was really excited to see Warp reissue this. This pressing came on blue wax, and it sounds excellent. One thing Warp is really, really, really exceptional at is giving you quality pressings. They're not great at sending you the right thing. They're not great at packaging their items. But when it comes to the actual pressings themselves, they do a bang up job. They're one of the few labels out there that still produce really high quality vinyl issues. One of the greatest albums of all time, in my opinion, absolutely deserves to be reissued. You should not sleep on this. This is also released on black wax. I assume the blue one's hard to come by. Pick this up. Absolutely brilliant album. Now this, let me grab this over here. This one is another one that I've talked about briefly in a previous video. This is Future Sound, it is Future Sound of London. This is Amorphous Androgynous, another name they used. Tales of Ephedrina. This came out 30 years ago as well, and this was released for RSD this year with an extra bonus record. This is a beautiful record. Beautiful record. I've talked about it already, but I'm going to talk about it again because it's one of my favorites of the year when it comes to reissues. This is just one of my favorite electronic albums ever. You get the album and then you get an extra disc of tracks. Some of them previously released, some of them not. It doesn't matter because this has the original LP on it. And this is a beautiful record. In my humble opinion, the best thing that Future Sound of London have ever done under any name. In album form. They have some 12-inch, like some of the Humanoid stuff is pretty damn brilliant. But in terms of albums they've put out, this is my favorite Future Sound of London related record. Absolutely brilliant. One of my favorite electronic albums of all time. Absolutely deserves to be reissued every single year. Everyone should hear this. You need this in your lives. Oh, okay. So I just picked this up. I have the original of this, but I've played it so much that it's just been hammered. There's groove wear all over it. My fingerprints are all over it. I used to DJ with this all the time. This is a fucking brilliant record. I was so excited to see this get re-released. Photek, Modus Operandi, MO. This is a brilliant record. One of the, if not the best, drum and bass jungle albums ever released. Fucking brilliant. And this is a really nice pressing. It was packaged well. The records come in these polyester sleeves. The labels are very much looking like the original labels did on Science Records. I forget the label that this comes out on. I don't know if it even says here. Yeah, I don't see it. This came out on Science. I don't think Science is around anymore. Brilliant. If you're into drum and bass and jungle, and I hope that you are, this is one of the finest albums you'll ever hear. Modus Operandi, Photek. And just listen to anything Photek does. The guy's a genius. When it comes to that original 90s hardcore jungle drum and bass sound, this guy took it to another level. And this album should be absolutely celebrated. I was so stoked to see this get reissued. It deserves it. Brilliant record. Pick this up. I don't know how limited it is, but you don't want to live your life without having that in your life. All right. This is a reissue. This just came out like a decade ago, and I have that original issue, but I saw it pop up again. This is Donato Dazzi plays B-Mask. And Donato Dazzi, it's going to lead me into my next reissue of the year. Might be my reissue of the year. This Donato Dazzi is an Italian dude who just he's been around for a long time, for years, and he makes ambient techno music, generally. And he basically took an album released by B-Mask and he remixed it into this. It's 7 Donato Dazzi remixes spread across 2 different pieces of wax. You get 7 mixes here on 2 records. This is a brilliant record, and I wanted to show this because There's one of the labels. This is one of my favorite records of the last decade. Brilliant stuff, and I was really happy to see this get reissued. I bought the original issue. It came on blue wax, and it was not a very good pressing. Maybe some of them are, maybe some of them are not. Mine was definitely not a good pressing. So this came out again on black this year, and I picked it up, and this is a much better pressing. I'm glad I picked it up. Brilliant record. If you like ambient music and techno music, and you particularly like it when some artist puts those two genres together, you don't get much better than this. Ambient techno music, but done in a Donato Dozzi type way, which is unique. You should check him out if you don't know his name. Donato Dozzi, Dozzzy. An Italian dude who's been around for a long time. And I like the Italians because I am a WAP myself. I like it when other WAPs do well. And this is definitely an illustration of when WAPs do well. It's a good name for an album for him. You should think about that. But that leads me to this, another classic album getting the reissue treatment this year. This is Voices from the Lake. Something tells me maybe some of you know about this. This is a fucking bona fide, stone cold classic in the techno world. And this is Donato Dozzi and Neil together. Absolutely brilliant record. This came out in 2012, right? And it got a vinyl release then, but it was a triple, and it was a triple pack. It had 3 records in there, but it didn't have the full versions, and it didn't have all the tracks that came out on the digital version. This does. They spread this out over 4 pieces of wax, and it's got the full track listing, the full versions. They're all here. This got expanded on a bigger box set too. It came in like a box, and it came with a book. I thought about picking that up, but it was like $200. I'm like, I already have this in a way, and I don't need all that shit. I'd much rather just have the music, which is what this is. Voices from the Lake. If you have not heard this, listen to this. You will not be disappointed. This is a beautiful album. Love this record. Techno music doesn't get any better than this. And here you've got 4 records of expanded versions of beautiful ambient techno tracks. And that's another cool thing about these songs is they're all really long. Songs are like 10, 11, 12, 14, 15 minutes long. It's just like, I love ambient techno like that. It needs space to breathe. And this is just some of the most finely crafted, produced, and mixed dance music you'll ever hear. Voices from the Lake. Pick this up. They reissued it. Thank Christ for that, because this is brilliant. Now this is something I just picked up. I didn't even know it was coming. And this is a reissue in its way. It's filled with music that was released long ago. I was so excited to pick this up. This is Dawn of the Dead. Waxwork Records just put out a triple album of all of the library cue music that you hear in that movie, sorry. So like The Gonk, Herb Chappelle's The Gonk, that's on here. All that incidental music you hear in the mall while these fuckers are wandering around bumping into each other and chewing on each other, all that music you hear is on here. Now, they did release this. Johnny Trunk put this out about 20 years ago on his Trunk label, but it was just one record. It did have The Gonk on it. That's one song that we all need to have when it comes to Dawn of the Dead. But Waxwork just compiled all of it, and they plastered it on 3 records. I had no idea this was coming out until a few weeks ago. I was so excited to lay my money down for this. There's the back cover. Really cool cover. I really like what Waxwork Records does. And the fact they just compiled all of the incidental music in Dawn of the Dead is so brilliant. They plastered it over 3 records. It's on a really nicely packaged trifold. If I can open this up. There's the first part of the trifold. And then let me open up the third part. There's the hype sticker. I save all this stuff. I like to keep it together. There you go. You can read that for yourself. And here's the trifold, a picture of the mall, basically. Perfect music for these zombies who are just wandering around the mall. And one of the greatest movies of all time. Maybe I'll do a video on Dawn of the Dead at some point. Have you been to a mall lately? Yeah, the zombies are alive and kicking, okay? And I have no doubt that they will be chewing on each other soon enough, for real. It's a depressing sight. Here, they all come on different colored wax. I don't know if I'm going to, well, maybe I will show them all. This is on purple. And you get, on the other side of each label, you get the zombie getting shot in the head. That scene where he takes the sniper rifle and he zooms in on the zombie's head and puts the bullet through his brain. You get 3 shots of that across these 3 labels. Well, there's 6 labels in total, but the 3 records each have an image of that zombie taking it in the head. Yeah, screw it, I'll show it. I'm here. It's the holidays. Why not share? This is the sharing season. This is record 2. You get the orange wax on that one. For some reason, I don't know why. There's that. For some reason, like the middle record has a poly-lined inner sleeve, but then the other 2 don't. Anybody who has this, did that happen to you? If anybody has this, I would love to hear if that happened to you. I've never seen that. The record was sealed too. This wasn't used, so the label gave me 1 poly-lined inner and then 2 non-poly-lined inners. Okay, not quite sure what they were thinking on that one. The one that I just showed kind of is transparent. You can see through the colored wax, and then these 2 you cannot. This is on green, so I'm wondering if they thought, well, it doesn't matter for these 2 solidly colored records, but the one that's not solid colored, the one that's see-through, maybe that needs one. That's something I never knew about colored wax. Maybe that's a thing. I don't know. I just show these in reverse order, by the way. This is supposed to be part 1 of the zombie. And then he gets his brains blown out by the 3rd record. So there's that one. It comes with an insert. You get the people struggling for their lives. God, I love this movie. Movies don't get... It's hard for movies to be perfect in their own respective genre. This is one of those instances where a movie is just perfect. Love this movie so much. In fact, now that I'm showing this, I'm kind of motivated to go watch this. You get some folds open. This insert folds open, as you can see. So, yeah, man. If you're a Dawn of the Dead fan and you didn't know that this was out, I know you're scrambling to go find this now. You know you want this. I was so excited to pick this up. You probably already have the Goblin soundtrack. Waxwork put the Goblin soundtrack out, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. And now to accompany that, they put all the library cues on here with the gonk. I mean, really, the gonk is the only track I really care about, but having the rest of the stuff is just a bonus. So yeah, I was more than happy to plop down my money for this. Yes. Oh yes. Love that. Now, this last one, this is probably my reissue of the year. This is a monster set. I don't know how I want to show everything that came out, but this is something you definitely need in your life. The Obscure Collection. Brian Eno. 10 record set. Look at this. This is something to celebrate. And what does the cover say here? I'm not even sure. The Complete Obscure Records Collection, 1975 to 1978. I don't want to try to explain this too much, but Obscure was a label that Brian Eno started in 1975, and they put out 10 records over the course of 3.5 years through 1978, where they put out, the idea was to put out neoclassical music, but it's classical with ambient. I mean, it's Brian Eno from the 70s. He produced all of these records, every one of these. The guy was busy. He did a lot of production here. This is a brilliant compilation. I was so excited to see how these get remastered because these are not easy to find in their own right, the original pressing. So to have them all collected and collated on one massive box set is really cool. The box is like a woven cloth box. It's really nice. It's very sturdy. Opens up like a book, as you can see. Has a lid, and then all the goodies are inside. I will venture into this now. This is the hype sticker. As I said before, I like to keep everything together. You get a nice, long, lengthy hype sticker here. I'll read some of this for you. Dialogo is the label that put it out. It's an Italian label. They were good enough to do this. Dialogo presents the first ever box set gathering the entire 10-album collection of obscure records, all produced by Brian Eno. Originally issued between 1975 and 1978, nearly 50 years on, the output of Obscure remains radically forward-thinking, offering glimpses of a future yet to be fully seen, and amounts to one of the most important, influential, and creatively accomplished album series ever conceived. I would agree with that. Co-curated by Brian Eno and the composers Gavin Bryars and Michael Nyman. You've heard of them. I hope you have. Issuing the recording debuts of Bryars, Nyman, John Adams, Christopher Hobbs, David Toop, Max Easley, Jan Steele, Simon Jeffries, the Penguin Cafe Orchestra, and Harold Budd. Okay? In addition to important works by John Cage, Tom Phillips, and John White. Okay, look at that. That list of people. All right? This is what you're getting. Some of these, the first time they ever recorded anything. So let that sink in. If you didn't know about Obscure Records, let all that sink in and figure out how you're going to go pick this up because you want this in your lives. This is the back leaflet, flyer, hype sticker of sorts that you get on the back of the box. This was sealed 3 times. When I opened it, I opened the first seal. Then there was another seal. Then there was another seal. It was like open a Pandora's box or something. It had 3 seals on it. So never have I seen a release that had 3 seals. This comes, it's got a little ribbon here that you pull up so you can get all the records out. It comes with a nice big book. I mean, I don't know if it's big. It's the size of a record, as you can see. And then, you get credits and acknowledgments. You get an album by album dissertation. You get photos. You get lengthy write-ups. This is a box set worth plopping the money down for, people. This is, and plus the music. I mean, let's not get too distracted here by all this stuff you get. You have the music, which is first and foremost the reason why you're picking this up. Phenomenal box set. This is absolutely my reissue of the year. There's no question about it. That Voices from the Lake is really exciting to have, but when I saw this pop up, it was like, holy crap. There's never really a bad time to listen to this music. God, there's this gorgeous stuff that exists in this series. And let me pull some of these records out here. I'm not gonna show them all, but you crack this open and you get these 10 records all coming out. Faithful recreations of the covers here. You get Gavin Bryars, of course. There's Christopher Hobbs. Here's Brian Eno, discreet music. All 10 of them are in here, man. And the other thing too, they're pressed impeccably. They all have the poly-lined inner sleeves. Attention was definitely paid to this box set. There's no question about it. You do get these just plain paper inners, but they are poly-lined. I pulled them out and played them. They sound fantastic. They're dead quiet. They're straight. They're flat. No marks whatsoever. Dialogo did a phenomenal job in repressing this series, and I think you have to do that when you're doing this series. You also get a card, and I thought this was really cool. Mine's numbered 99 out of 1,000. A very cool number. Would have been cool if it was 100, but 99. I was very happy to see that. Very cool number to get. Usually I get really boring numbers, but 99, that's cool. Anyway, this is what you're getting right here, man. Look at that. Lots of music to sink your teeth into, tons of classics. And this, my friends, as you can see, I think you will agree that this is my reissue of the year. And yeah, it's 10 different albums, 10 different albums getting reissued. I get it. Maybe calling it a reissue in the singular form is overstating it. Maybe it should be in the plural form because it's 10 albums worth, but it's all one box set. It's all one singular entity, and that's why this is my reissue of the year. If you can spend the money on this, it's worth it, man. It's worth it. It's some stone cold classics, some of the most influential artists of our time, of our century, all condensed into one box set. I'd also highly recommend getting this. This is just flat out fun. If you're a Dawn of the Dead fan, what the hell are you waiting for, man? 3 records worth. You get the illustration of Tom Savini with the knife in his hand. I mean, what more do you need? Come on, man. Anyway, as you can see, some really special reissues have come out this year. Okay, that's my reissue compilation video. I'll be back the next few days to talk about my favorite albums of the year and then live stream on Saturday. So I will talk to you later. Goodbye.